Hello YouTube, Sam here from youtube.com/onlivegamer for the new Boston. And in this tutorial, we're going to be taking a look at some variants of the do until and the do while loop. Now, let's go ahead and get started. We'll create a new project. Make sure you have selected console application. And we'll go ahead and name this more do loops. And just go ahead and click OK. Now let's wait for that to load and then zoom in. Okay, so if you remember from the last tutorial, we covered the do while loops. Now let's say you have a block of code and you want that block of code to run no matter what once and then continue looping based on if a certain value is true. Now the problem with the do while loops and the do until loops that we learned is that it may or may not run once. So let's say do until num1 is equal to 10. Well, what if num1 is already equal to 10? It's not going to loop at all. So I'll show you how to make the code run once no matter what. So we're going to go ahead and type console.writeLine and we'll just print normal do until loop. So let's go ahead and create a variable here. We'll just call it num1 and we'll set that equal to 0. And then we'll make our do until loop. So do until num1 is equal to 5. And then we can just go ahead and do num1 plus equals 1. And then we'll go ahead and print out num1. So this is going to start out printing the number 1 on here because we called num1 plus equals 1 before we wrote it out on the console. So now let's create a do until loop that will run no matter what one time. So let's just give us some space right here. Now let's go ahead and label this. So we'll do console.writeLine do until variant. Okay, so now let's create our do until loop. So we're going to start off with the keyword do. And we're not going to add until at the top of the loop. We're just going to go ahead and hit enter, and you can see it fills in loop for us. And we'll just type console.writeLine num1. So let's go ahead and set num1 equal to 10. So after this has looped right here and it's printed out everything and it's done doing that, we're just going to go ahead and set num1 equal to 10 so we can use it with this do until loop here. Now there's something missing from this. We just have do and we just have loop. Where are we going to put the until? Well, if we put it down at the bottom, then what it's going to do is it's going to do this line right here no matter what, and then it's going to loop until num1 is equal to 10. So if it starts out that num1 is equal to 10, then it won't matter because it'll do it anyways, no matter what num1 is equal to. So if we go ahead and run this program, it's going to close out really quick. So let's go ahead and do console.readline. Okay, so you can see here that it's got the normal do until loop, which goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we've got our do until variant, and you can see that it prints out 10 here because we added do before the loop until. Now we can go ahead and do this with a do while loop. So we can pretty much just change this to loop while num1 is less than 10. So it's going to do this once, it's going to print out 10, and then it's going to realize, oh, num1 is greater than 10, so we're not going to go back up here and loop it again. So if we run this, we're going to get the normal do until loop, which prints out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then our do until variant, which is going to print out 10. So you can go ahead and make a couple practice programs using normal do until loops, normal do while loops. You can add the while and the until down at the bottom if you want. And then once you got that nailed down and you won't forget it, go ahead and move on to the next tutorial. And thanks for watching, guys.